Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Larry McElvain, and I would like to welcome you to Unity of St. Petersburg, where centered in God, we co-create a world that works for all. We're so excited to see your smiling faces this morning. I can't see your smiles. And to join together in celebration and worship. Thank you for being a part of this spiritual community. Okay, for those of you on Zoom, we'll mute all of you now. You may wish to select speaker view now. After the service, we'll unmute you and you will be invited to join breakout rooms to continue enjoying each other's company. For those of you here in person at church, thank you for honoring safe distancing and wearing your mask the entire time you're here. And a reminder that the kitchen is closed, and you've already been reminded to please make sure that your cell phones are either in airplane mode or turned off. We're so glad you're all here on Zoom and in person. And if you're visiting with us this morning, we thank you for being here this morning and hope you'll return to join us again, hopefully in person. As we move into this experience, let's take a moment and come together in prayer. O gracious and loving Spirit, we humbly open our hearts and minds in gratitude for the opportunity to let the Christ presence shine forth from our human existence. We embrace this opportunity to share this morning with our Unity family. We surround ourselves in your loving presence, that sweet presence that is always with us, warmly filling our hearts, comforting us, making us aware of your infinite love. That love that brings us into the realization that we are one with you and each other right here and right now. We align our hearts and minds with one another in our daily quest to share our love and peace across a sorely divided nation, knowing that you will give us the words and wisdom to make a difference. We strive to put aside our egos and worldly desires in our efforts to create a world that works for all. Open the eyes of this nation, sweet Spirit, to the everlasting oneness binding us together. That Christ's presence that dwelt in Jesus dwells in us also. With the knowing we can heal the splintered nation, a nation anxiously waiting for us to step forward and let our light shine. Gracious Spirit, we thank you for blessing this spiritual community with Reverend Fred for the past 16 years. As we come together today to send him on his way into the next chapter of his life, we pray for his continued spiritual growth, good health, safety, and happiness. Thank you, Spirit, for this day. Thank you for this life. Thank you for our Unity family. We are so blessed, and so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Larry. Good morning, everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Laura Watts. I'm the music director here at Unity of St. Petersburg.
And my name is Tommy Bell. I'm the guitar player in the Fillmores, the church band.
And we'd like to invite you to sing some songs with us to open up this morning. So, Jim, if you'll pop that slide up, and we're going to start out with a song that's based on Psalm 133, verse 1, How Good It Is. Well, thank you. You sound wonderful this morning. It's so good to see all of you. I want to mention just a couple of announcements. You see the Zoom slide up, and please do check our website, Unity of St. Peter's, UnitySt.Pete.org, UnitySt.Pete.org, or our Facebook page for even more information. But you see here some events that we have going on Zoom this week, Monday mornings and Wednesdays and Thursdays. And we want to also talk to you early in the service today about supporting your church with your financial gifts. This is how we keep our doors open, literally and figuratively. And you see on the slide, there's a couple of ways you can give. You can click the donate button on our website, or you can mail your check to Unity of St. Petersburg at 6168 First Avenue North. If you're in person in the sanctuary, there's also a box in the back of the room by the doors where you can place your offering this morning. Please know that your offerings to your spiritual home are gratefully received and appreciated. And this is how we keep the energy going out and coming back in that great circle. Thanks, Jim. You can pull that one down. So, as I mentioned, am I on the screen right now, or is the lectern on the screen? Let me just spotlight me for a minute, and then I'll be on the screen. Hi. So, as I said, today is a very special service. We're honoring Reverend Fred Clare, who, as Larry said, has been our senior minister here for 16 years. And I just wanted to share a little bit of history of our church for those who don't know. We were founded in 1972 and moved into the current building where some of you are sitting this morning in 1990. Fred joined the church July 15th, 2004, and he's going to be retiring from full-time ministry at the end of June, just in a couple days. So here we are today in tribute to his years of service with us. This morning, you're going to hear several people share their thoughts about Reverend Fred in word and in song. We're going to be hearing from people in 5 different states and several different time zones. So I just invite you right now to sit back, relax, take a deep breath with me, and let's feel the Spirit fill this place as we honor this person who has impacted so many of us in so many ways. We're going to kick things off with a song request from Reverend Fred. It's a Jackson Browne song called For a Dancer, and Tommy Bell is going to sing that for us.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Reverend Fred. I love you so much. And I just want to say thanks for everything, and thanks for turning me on to this great song. This is for you, Fred.
Oh, that was wonderful, Tommy. Thank you so much. Let us continue our experience as we do every week, as we say our statement of faith, which is the foundation of our beliefs here in Unity. Let's open ourselves to this truth as we say together. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the good omnipotence. And now I'd like to introduce the Reverend Judy Saida from North Carolina, who would like to say a few words.
Okay. Well, I'm the Reverend Judy Saida. I've been attending this church for quite a long time, and I've just loved Fred. But what I want to say today to Fred especially is it has been an honor to have you as my minister and my friend. You have inspired me with your Sunday talks. You have inspired me with your classes, especially your teaching of metaphysical Bible, because you're so much better at that than I am. But what my husband and I liked so much about you is that you are real, Fred. You are down to your earth. You are yourself. I remember one time when somebody in a class or community conversations said something like they wanted you to be more dynamic or more showmanship. And you said, I can't be something I'm not. Well, I'm so glad that you stayed true to yourself. I love you, I bless you, and I just know that your next adventure is going to be wonderful. Thank you. And
Thank
now,
you, Judy. I think I'm up now.
yes, you are.
I'm Davey Lane, and I perform with the band The Fillmores with Laura and Tommy, who you heard earlier. And I'm going to share real quick because I'm not supposed to talk long. I think I've known Fred for about 10 years, I think it was. And my energy connected with your energy pretty much immediately, even before you told me that you were all about this, like Judy said. You see that? That says authentic. And I bought this for you. And I really connect with that as well. And I also really love the fact that you're so scholarly and you like to dig down into the books and into the history and all that. So it's time for me to sing you on your way. And I know that you love this song. You didn't request it this time, but you had me sing it one time for a talk you did. And so now it's time for me to sing this song for you. It's called Swing Wide the Doors. I know you know it, and I know you connect with this song. I see you laughing. Yeah, you connect with this song very well. And it's by Daniel Nahmod. Thank you for everything you've done, Fred. I'm supposed to introduce Lois and Jack, who's going to share a little bit and then do the daily word for us. So here it's over to you, Lois and Jack.
Hi, this is Jack Phillips. Reverend Fred, you've been such a blessing to me, and with your explanations of the Bible and your good sermons about unity, our blessed unity, which is so wonderful. I haven't been raised Catholic, but anyway, one thing that has been so special is the coffee and conversations on Wednesdays, where we all have a chance to explain and our thoughts and our feelings and with each other, and it's been so nice hearing everybody's thoughts and we realize that we aren't the only ones with these thoughts, and other people thinking the same way too. And you, with your leadership skills, you've kept us in line and kept us on the right path. And you shared your thoughts and feelings too, because you're not only a good minister, you're one of us. Anyway, we're going to miss you, Fred, but no, we wish you well in your retirement, your well-deserved retirement. And now my wife Lois has some things to say.
Yes, I'm Lois, his wife. And I believe in everything he said to you. And I have my own thoughts I want to share. Gonna miss you too. Oh, I'm hoping I can make it. I admire your honesty, your authenticity, and your caring nature. And I enjoyed your Sunday talks, your talks at meetings and things, because yes, you look around, but you look and see the people that you're talking to. And I've just learned a lot that way. And it also touched me because at one of those meetings, I was experiencing chest pains. I don't know if you remember. I was sitting over in that area. And as you talked, you looked over. And then you stopped yourself and you said, Lois, you don't look good. I think you better go home. You saw that. And I went home, and thank goodness I did, because it got worse, and I hardly remember the drive home. You not only touched my life, you might have saved it. But anyway, what more can I say than that going to miss just your sincere personality, and I appreciate everything you've done for not only me, but for this church. God bless you. Now for the daily word. The daily word today is will. And the affirmation, spiritual understanding guides my will. Each day, I use my will to make decisions, big and small, that affect the quality and the direction of my life. And through the use of my human will, I will make choices out of fear or sense of lack, or I may be driven by a desire for convenience, comfort, or pleasures of the moment. The use of my spiritual will, however, directs my choices toward a greater awareness of my divine nature. And as I grow spiritually, I use my will to shine my Christ light even more brightly. I grow in willingness to co-create with God as I release my willfulness to do everything on my own, and as I live more intentionally from my divinity. The light of spiritual understanding dawns within me and directs my will. And from Joshua 1, verse 9, I hereby command you, be strong and courageous, and do not be frightened or dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. And now, join with me and to say the affirmation for today. Is it up there? Spiritual understanding guides my will.
Thank you, Lois. What a perfect reading for today. So would you all just take another deep cleansing breath? Feel your heart opening. And as we prepare for meditation this morning, I invite you to sing with me. I am open, I am blessed. In this place, I can rest. In my heart, there's forgiveness. I am open, I am blessed. And as Mary Dawn comes to lead us in our meditation, let's just sing that one more time. I am open, I am blessed. I am open, I am blessed. In this place, I can rest. In my heart, there's forgiveness. I am open, I am blessed. In my heart, there's forgiveness. I am open, I am blessed.
I am Mary Dawn, and I'm happy to be here this morning to lead our meditation today. It's no secret that we are experiencing unprecedented changes and challenges right now to our challenges to our health, our relationships, our finances, our democracy, our cultural norms, our planet, our spirituality, and even challenges to our spiritual community as we go through change. One of us is, on top of all that, retiring. Wow, that's a lot of change. We know that in times of change, even small ones, it is entirely natural to experience a lot of feelings, including sometimes feelings like fear, anxiety, sadness, even anger. So it's important that we remember we can have our feelings without shame or fear of them, and we can move through them into the light because we know in unity that God is in everything. So now as we move into our meditation today, I invite you to relax as best you can in your chair and close your eyes. Breathe out deeply and releasing all your worries. Breathe in slowly and fully, taking in the awareness of the presence and power of the living God, the loving God that gives us life. As we continue to let go of our concerns, we turn our attention inward to the place within us where the divine resides, the place where we are centered in God, in the stillness, in the calm, in the eye of the storm that rages around us. There is silence. There is peace. In this silence, we become aware that we are now free to commune together with divine spirit, the spirit of light, the spirit of peace. We recognize that presence within us, and we see it all around us. We see that divine spirit holding us in the warm golden light of God's love, where we are safe and calm, where we are one with God. Let us breathe in this golden light and take it into every cell of our being until we know, without a doubt, that we have everything we need in this moment to be at peace. All fear is gone. Joy and peace fill our heart and our mind. And we say, thank you, God. Thank you, God. For God is the light in the dark places around us and within us. And God is the light that shows the way through our dilemma. Visualize that light now and breathe it in again. See it shining brightly, filling your heart and your whole body. In this light, as in the eye of the storm, we see the sunshine and the light above us. We feel the cooling breeze. We hear the birds singing. And we see all the good in the people in our world. All the good people who love and give and work to make our world a better place. We see God at work in them as God works in and through us. Let's take that in and let us feel that light enlightening us, empowering us for the journey ahead. We swing wide the doors and let that light shine in us and through us and out to all the world. And we proclaim, God is good. We are good. Our sisters and brothers are good. We are loved. We are one. We are all in this together. And together, we can do anything. Now, as we begin to bring our meditation time to a close, let us remember we have the strength and the power of God within us, the light and the wisdom of God, the love of God to see us through any challenge to the better world on the other side of it. And so it is. Blessed be, and amen. So now back to the room. I invite you to open your eyes and wiggle your fingers and toes. I have just a few words I'd like to say to Fred this morning. First of all, to say thank you, Fred, for welcoming me into this spiritual community 6 years ago, for allowing me to serve with you, and for being my friend. Thank you for being inclusive and open-minded. Thank you for being curious, unafraid to learn from other traditions, so that you could help us stretch and deepen our understanding of unity teachings and of our broader connection and our responsibilities to other people and to the earth. Thank you for allowing me to teach what I know and encouraging me to be true to myself. I hope we can keep the legacy of your openness alive in this community, and I wish you great opportunities for continued growth on the next step of your journey. I didn't mean to cry, so may you be well, peaceful, and productive. And may you have lots of fun.
Over to you, Ben.
Hi, my name is Ben, and Reverend Fred is my father. I've been with him through every step of his journey with Unity, starting when I was just a young boy back in Texas, and he decided, it was time for a change. And so we packed up all our things and moved over to Kansas City. And as he embraced and flourished throughout this change, and embracing unity and everything. I really got to see what a great man he is. And it's been great, these past many years, seeing how he has helped and impacted and changed lives, not only through unity, but through many other avenues. But I like to think that he has impacted my life most of all, because he has shaped me into the man I have become. And reflecting back on it, there's no way I would be where I am today without him. So for that, I just want to say thank you, and I will be forever grateful. And with that, I will pass it on over to Ellie.
Oh, Fred, you've touched many parts of me. The biggest part was probably our inner journey that we've taken side by side, not always together. And this kind of expresses this song I've created, how I feel about it all. How do you hear God speak? How do you know what you hear is truly more than just the chatter of your mind? More than just your ego searching for a kind of perfection? No, no, no. You feel vibration up your spine. You know you're being called to a newfound state of mind. You know you've heard the sacred plea. Teach the children all you've come to know of me. God is. God is. You are the person that is. You are the person who's expanding all that you are. Never going too far. Feeling life and living with a faith and a grace. Feel vibration up your spine. Know you're being called to a newfound state of mind. Know you've heard the sacred plea. Teach the children all you've come to know of me. God is. God is. Seek to help a world in need. Seek to end the power of greed. Take a stand for love and justice. See the hope for those in despair. Oh, there's love in the air. Oh, love in the air. You know, you hear God speak, you know. What you hear is truly more than just the chatter of your mind, more than just your ego searching for a kind of perfection. Ah, you feel vibration up your spine. You know you're being called to a newfound state of mind. You know you've heard the sacred plea. Teach the children all you've come to know of me. God is, God is, you are one with God.
My name is Jill Andrews. I am the senior minister at Unity East Church, where I serve in Pickerington, Ohio. It's my pleasure to be here, and I think Fred's a little concerned about this, but not to worry. We already spoke earlier this week about memories that we had of our journey together. And I want you to know that I looked it up. We met on April 5th, 1999, a beautiful Monday in Unity Village when we started our leadership program. And how we met is I sat in the back of a classroom. We had 36 people in our class for leadership, and I needed an outlet. And after about 2 hours, I noticed a little pest next to me, and it was Fred. And from that moment on, we developed a friendship that I would talk about, a foundation based on teasing and amusing one another in all ways. And then we can sprinkle in the truth teachings that we learn and that we share. So we went on, applied at ministerial school, unbeknownst to each other at the same time. And then we were pretty much inseparable for 2 years. We got to school early on the first day so we could sit together, found our chairs, and had a great time. So one of the things that happened that I would share is, and Prentice, you don't know this, Prentice is our classmate. He's here today too. But we had to amuse ourselves constantly, and that's why we sat in the back of the room. And so we created every day for a period of time a bingo card. So I created one for today. And this bingo card, your final bingo card. This is the final bingo card of ministry because it started as we were learning to be ministers. And that time together and the time since then has formed your ministry, and I've seen you grow. And so I came up with qualities that I've seen in you all along. And it's open heart, pastoring, supporting recovery, listen intently, unconditional love, faith, certainty, humor, depth, compassion, leading courageously, guiding the board, envisioning, a confidant, a shoulder to cry on, sharing deeply, an officiant, teaching, guiding, meditating, hugging, fixing roofs, and truth. And so now you're at the free space. You have a full card, and now you can retire. And the other thing I noticed is today you had Tommy sing the song about dance. Your chapel service had Lord of the Dance and another dance song. So I invite you to dance on into your retirement and know that you've served well. So the song that I thought of when I was thinking about how I wanted to speak was Seasons of Love from Rent. And that song is so special because it talks about how do you measure a year in the life. And it talks about 525,600 seconds, moments in a day. And since you've been ordained and you've been called before you were ordained, you were one of the first people in our class to be called by Unity of St. Petersburg. There's been 5,862 days, which is too many moments to count. It went, my little laptop, my little phone just went berserk on that one. But what does it take? That song asks, what does it take to make a life? And it talks about daylight. How do we measure it? Daylights, sunsets, midnights, cups of coffee, inches, miles, how much you learned, how much you cried, how much you shared, and then it's really just being there. So I wish you more seasons of love in this new phase. I thank you for our friendship, and I know that all will be well. So through the story never ends, we celebrate your next dance of life. Thank you, Fred. Love you.
My name's Wendy. Reverend Fred and Unity of St. Petersburg came to me during a dark time in my life, personally and spiritually. I had taken a break from attending church in 2010 after attending another Unity church for 13 years. I soon found I was missing positive messages and making music with my friends. So Laura encouraged me to come and listen to Fred. She thought he was just what I needed, and he was. His gentleness, his genuineness, his truth, and his authenticity, as everybody has said here today. My return to soloing and singing in the choir helped me further my gift of song in service to the community, and I found my passion again for singing. Reverend Fred and I are only 1 year apart, so I think we relate in a lot of different ways. I'm happy to say he officiated the renewing of Bob and my marriage vows, which means so much to me and to Bob. I will miss your messages, but I feel this will not be the end of your ministering to me, Reverend Fred, as I know I will continue to follow your path, and hopefully there will be another opportunity to join with you in service in the community in co-creating with God for a better future for everyone. Thank you, Reverend Fred. I give you a virtual hug right now because I can't be there in person. I miss that, and I know you do too. I'm going to sing another Daniel Namod song for you because you introduced me to Daniel Namod. He came and performed for our church, so I love his music. It helps me so much, and I know it does you too. Thank you. Now, I have the distinct pleasure. First, I want to say it is synchronicity that Reverend Fred chose these extraordinary times for his refirement. And with that being said, certainly no coincidence, Reverend Prentice is here today to encourage him on his transformative new journey to spiritual expansion. It's a privilege to introduce another one of his seminary classmates and great friend and colleague, Reverend Prentice Davis.
Whoa. Did she use some big words? Transformative. Ben and Jill took what I was going to say. I had an accident last week and I fell on my hip, and I really shouldn't be climbing up here. But I would not miss this opportunity to see Fred cry. Because he's going to cry. Ben already did it to him. I saw it. So let me tell you, I've sat in that chair that Fred is in now. He hasn't heard half of what has been said. Trust me, he has not heard half of what has been said. Because to you, you have seen somebody come in here on Sundays, he marries, he buries, he teaches, he hugs, and it seems like it just flows, but it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work. You see Ben, he looks so nice and sounds so good, but he was a brat. And when I mean brat, he wasn't a bad kid, don't hear that. He was an energetic child. Ben never stopped moving. I mean, never. When he was a kid, I used to think that Fred and Sue used to give him too much sugar. Something had to be wrong with this boy, but it wasn't. But to move them from Texas to Kansas City, to find a place, to get into school, there's no book you can open up and read each paragraph or each note to do all of that. It took a lot. And you do that through a calling, because there's no page that you can open up and say, well, how do I do this? And then one day we were standing in the hall, breaking in between classes and instructors, and I asked Fred, dude, because by then we were friends, dude, what you going to do when you leave? Because we don't know. We just knew that there was something more to do. And Fred said, I think I'm going to apply for a church in Florida. And I said, okay. I smiled and walked away and said, poor guy. Who wants to go to all that heat in Florida? But I had to remember he came from Texas. And then 2 weeks later, I applied to a church in Florida. I was blessed. I had my wife. Fred has his wife. But as a minister, you cannot come home and talk church. There has to be a period where you can just be you. If not, you'll be howling at the moon. So Fred and I had lunch back then it was on Wednesdays, wasn't it? Well, we knew every restaurant in town. Every Wednesday for years, for a decade, we had lunch and talked about all of y'all. No, I'm sorry. No, we didn't. No, we didn't. No, we didn't. But I was able to talk to a friend about life. So, Fred, you haven't heard everything. I know you felt a lot. I just want to say that you should have heard that you're a friend. Forget about you being smart and you knowing the Bible and you able to preach on Sunday. You were a friend, you are a friend to everyone here. You're a friend to me. So I want to close and tell the truth. He wasn't the smartest guy in class. Him and Jill sat in the back of the room and they were brilliant. I have to be honest. They were sharp. You heard Jill talk so you could hear her intelligence. They were sharp. They were quick. And then on the other side of the room in the back of the class sat me and Joy. We were smarter than you guys. But what happened in that classroom was demonstrated in 16 years here. We saw it in 2002, 3, and 4. So, Sue, you're in my prayers. The best way to do it, call Veronica. She'll give you tips. But I suggest you designate your room in the house that he can't come in so you can have some quiet time. Thank you, Fred, for being a friend. Thank you.
I'm Larry McIlvain, and I'm the treasurer of the Board of Trustees. And the board asked me to say a few words for Fred. Your Unity Board of Trustees asked me to share some parting words today for Fred, since I had already elected myself as the unofficial timekeeper when you were presenting your minister's report during our board meetings. Oh, look, we got a bell. I personally have served with you on the board for almost 9 out of the past 10 years that I've been here at Unity of St. Pete. And as such, together we have faced many challenging times, and some challenging decisions. But our love and respect for one another made those times much easier to face. The board really appreciates your leadership, backed up by your honesty, your integrity, especially your sense of humor. That hasn't hurt either. Yeah. Unity of St. Petersburg continues to be financially strong, even during these difficult economic times, in part to your wise leadership, and we really appreciate that. Thank you so much for your love and support, both on the board and for each of the board members personally. It's really hard to say goodbye, but knowing that you're leaving your spiritual community well prepared through your leadership should make you very proud. We're ready to face whatever the future may bring here. Please always be proud of that accomplishment. The board wants to wish both you and Sue much happiness and success in your next endeavors. Follow your hearts. Spirit will never lead you astray. I love you, my friend. Thank you.
David and Patty from Arkansas, take it away.
I'm David Williams, and I have the good fortune of being Fred's brother-in-law. And I wanted to share with him and with you two things that I particularly cherish. One, what I particularly cherish about our relationship, and the other, what I particularly cherish about his ministry. Briefly put, I cherish so much that I got to be his brother-in-law. What I particularly cherish about that is how you, Fred, treated me as a valued brother from the first day on. And that has meant so much to fill the heart of an only child. So thank you for that. About your ministry, what I want to share is how much I appreciate and respect that you have been faithful to your credo throughout your 16 years. I've seen that in so many ways. But the bottom line is you not only believed, but you lived the credo that we are God buddies, co-creators in bringing the world to its ultimate destination of oneness with God and with each other. So I'm extremely grateful that you have lived that we didn't just get a Sunday Fred, but we got a 7-day-a-week, year-round Fred with that integrity of message and that integrity of life. You've been a true faith walker, and what we saw is what we got. And we are so grateful for that. So, briefly put, I hope you'll consider that every word weighed a ton, and how grateful I am that you have been a good brother and a good faith walker, and that we have benefited and prospered from your life in so many ways. So thanks, and here's your sister.
I hope I can do this without crying, but I probably will. Fred, you, my brother, is a gift that God gave to me. A gift and friend to my heart, a gift and friend to my spirit, as I can tell is true for so many people here. And I am so touched by everything that you are hearing. I want to say you were a darling baby when you came home. And I saw the seeds of compassion and love as you grew through your life. They were shown when you lived through Elizabeth's leukemia and survived. They were shown when you married Sue. And the two of you created such a loving relationship. Abundantly true with the birth and the growth and the development of Ben, as we've all heard. And the last thing I want to say is your love and compassion came through so strongly at the end of Mother and Dad's life. You were there. So as you can tell, all of you, Fred and I, and Fred, you and I know we share many, many, many lifetime memories. What I want to say now is that you and I and these people here and others that you have touched share the truth that we are all on a journey within. And as we open ourselves to the living, loving presence of Christ within, and we center ourselves in God and live a God-centered life, we can work together, all of us, each one of us, to co-create a world that works for all. And as we do that, we do it with kindness, as you said in your Pentecostal sermon, generosity, compassion, and love. I love you, Fred, my dear brother, and I know without a doubt that you will reinvent yourself as you refire yourself to carry out the mission that you have come to give in this world. I love you. And besides that, we love basketball.
So I guess it's my turn now. Wow, I just see all these faces now. I've been faced up this way. So, oh my gosh, my heart is full to begin with. First and next of all, for listening to all these people who have known me, my son who's known me all his life, my sister who has known me all her life. I'm so glad you didn't tell all the secrets. But each of you have touched my heart, and as I look out here, that just seeing you here today fills me full. I remember at the board meeting, the last board meeting I had, that I was asked, what would you like to have happen in your last service? And at the time, I was feeling kind of lost. My childhood had left me seeking to be seen. I was invisible when I was growing up, and I want you to know that right now that little Freddie is full. Because I have always, my desire has always been, and I talk about it time and time again, I feel we each are called to be a beneficial presence on the planet, to seek to share our journeys with each other as we seek to create a world that works for. When I came here 16 years ago, I don't even know what I'm going to say right now, but when I came here 16 years ago, I walked in these doors not having a clue of what it was to be a minister. I remember walking in here wanting to have an instruction manual. What to do on day one, day two. There wasn't one. I had spent years and years of studying unity, the Bible, but not what it meant to be a minister day in and day out. I was terrified. I had good friends to connect with, to walk the journey with, as we blindly took the journey. I had wonderful brother-in-laws and sisters who, if you don't know, I've looked up to for so many years to help guide me on what it meant to be there for other people. What has my desire been is to invite us all to take that journey that I believe that each one of us is invited to take.
a journey to continue to open our hearts to each other, a journey to continue to serve each other, and to continue to grow. This church is blessed. I have been blessed by this church. As you have seen this morning, there is so much talent here, so much love here. One of the things you hear so much about people who come into these doors, who come off the street, they come in here, and time and time and time again, what you hear is, I just feel love. I feel acceptance. I feel a connection. That is what this church is. It's been kind of difficult this week because I haven't been told what was going to go on. I'm used to telling you what's going to be happening here. But after seeing what you have done, I know that I leave this spiritual community in good hands. There's a good foundation here. I have said before, over and over again, you know, we're closing a chapter here. I'm closing a chapter in my life. This church is closing a chapter in its life. But we have blank pages now. And we can look at what we have created together. And we can look at what works, what doesn't work. And we get to recreate something even greater from what we have created together. Each of you still lives within me. I'm sure that some of you, we will cross paths. St. Petersburg's not that big. And when we do, we will remember each other. So as I said a few weeks ago, happy trails until we meet again. God bless each and every one of you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Reverend Fred. I get to speak last, and so I'm thinking that if I just don't let the service end, we don't have to let you go, right? We'll just stay here. So we are going to bring this time together to a close, and we hope you'll join us here next week and every week as we continue to enjoy each other's company in person and on Zoom. I want to say thank you to the participants of this service. I appreciate all that you did, and those of you coming in from your different states. It was so wonderful. We had a great time sneaking in a rehearsal on Zoom yesterday, and I had to ask Fred's wife, Sue, to please keep him busy at 4:30 on Saturday so he doesn't pop in and see us all on Zoom. So over the next days and weeks, we will continue to send emails and Facebook posts, keeping you informed of what's happening here at Unity of St. Petersburg. You are in good hands, and we are here for you, and this is your spiritual home. We want you to know that we're in this together. If you do have a concern or a question, if you know of a congregant who's ill or in need, we just ask that you call the church office, or you can email office@unitystpete.org. So, and if you didn't get a chance to share this morning publicly and you'd like to say something to Fred, I'm going to give you his email address. I'll say it a couple of times. And on Zoom, Deb is going to put it in the chat box so you can write it down. Fred's email is fredc1951 at tampabay.rr.com. And I'll say that again. Fred C, as in Claire, Fred C 1951 at tampabay.rr.com. So now we're going to ask Fred to come on back to the lectern. You're going to be muted for a moment, Fred, just so I can keep my screen big just for a few moments. And we want to end this time together by speaking a couple of blessings to you. I want to say personally that I can't put into words how much you've meant to me in these 10 years that we've worked together and done church together. You gave me a spiritual home when I didn't have one. So, as you shared with us a few weeks ago, I think it's appropriate this morning that we say back to you, and I'm putting this in my own words, a part of you has grown in us, and we will never be truly apart, maybe in distance, but not in the heart. This is not goodbye, but it's see you soon. So what I want you to do now, Fred, is change let me unmute you. Oh, you're taking a picture?
I'm taking a picture right now. So hold on a second. Ooh, I took a picture of myself. I got to change that. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to unscroll myself, so you're going to be up there. And if you would now change the Zoom view to gallery view so you can see all of us up on the screen. And you're not going to be able to see us while we speak this blessing to you because the slide is going to be up in a moment. So first, we're going to all raise our hands and like we're going to be doing while we say the blessing. We're going to send you energy. Everybody in the sanctuary can join us. And those of you at home, if you want to pin Fred's video so that you can keep watching him while the slide comes up. And now, Jim, bring up that slide. And let's say together to Fred our unity blessing. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the Christ in you. And now we will say together our prayer for protection like we do each week, but this time we're going to say it specifically to Reverend Fred. So together, the light of God surrounds you. The love of God enfolds you. The power of God protects you. The presence of God watches over you. Wherever you are, God is, and all is well. Thank you for being with us today. And now, won't you please join with us as we sing together our peace song. Happy Sunday, everyone.
Happy trail. Who would have thought we would be ending this all masked up? Yeah. Wow.
So those of you on Zoom, in a moment, you'll get an invitation to a breakout room, or you can stay right here and we can chat here. So thank you all.
Thank you all. Everybody's unmuted now, and I'm going to break you into breakout rooms, or you can return to the main room where Reverend Fred is.
So I want to thank you. That was wonderful. That was it filled me full. So thank you for putting that together.
Well, we want to thank you.
Nervous not knowing, so I hope we took it on easy on you.
So I'm so much wanted to know what was going on. But anyway, so, and especially to have my son, that was so special for me. I know I wanted that, but I never expected it.
Well, I think that idea was Michael's and Joanne's. I think they're the ones who made it happen because I didn't get involved until about 2 days ago with that. So That
Yeah.
was our last minute edition.
Right. So to be able to do this on Zoom and have Judy and Jill and all people all over the place be part of it, it was very touching to me. I thank all of you.
Your brother-in-law and sister made me cry.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can do that.
Deb, do you want to let Fred know what we've got for him?
Yeah, Reverend Fred, what we've done behind the scenes, in addition to what you've been doing in the sanctuary today and seeing through Zoom, I've been doing some magic over here in my multimedia office, and I'm going to be preparing a video for you of the entire service that will be burned onto a DVD, and you'll get everything. And then the one that's going to be posted to YouTube will not have the copyrighted music in it, but you'll get the entire service plus a few extra things.
Oh, great. Thank you. I'll be checking my mail then.
That's why I asked for your address.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I took a photo yesterday of the Zoom call with all of the service participants, so 18 of us or so, and I'll email that to you today. It was a fun photo with your sister and Ben and everybody, Prentice, Jill, everybody was in it.
Yeah. Well, just once again, thank you. And I was kind of like you, Laura. I didn't want the service to end, but now it's over. So.
Time for lunch.
Time for lunch. Bye. Bye. Later. Bye-bye.